Hey guys, new firearm today. I've had it for about a week or so far, and have yet to shoot it. But this is the new Remington 870 Fieldmaster. That's what it was labeled as, Fieldmaster. And then it is loaded, but we will not be operating the firearm at all. Remington 870. I had one before. It was black. It's up on my channel as well, but I heard about the new ones, and I was like, I always wanted one from Resident Evil 1, one that looks like that shotgun, since I was a little kid. And here it is. We have a wood stock and fore end, and shell lifter, just like all 870s. Same trigger assembly as my black one I had. But this one I got doing some research, is actually the home defense model. So what makes it a home defense? Your regular field models will not have the mag extension. This Remington mag extension is factory +2. I can get 6 rounds plus 1 in the chamber for 7. And then the receiver is drilled and tapped for a base, so you can put a red dot on, whatever you want. 12 gauge chamber for 2 3/4 and 3-inch shells. Then this barrel here still says New York. I heard it was Rim Arms now. That's their new management, Rim Arms. And it was supposed to be somewhere here in Georgia that they were built. But back 2007 or so, 2006, Remington was owned by the Freedom Group. Same people that owned Marlin back then. And they had some pretty ratty guns coming out. Especially 2 years ago or so, they had some pretty massive lawsuit problems or something like that, and they were turning out just some awful guns. This one has an 18.5-inch barrel, cylinder bore barrel. The only sight you get is your front bead. That's it. And I wanted this, just like I said, because of RE1. And I've yet to shoot it. I cleaned it, oiled it real good, because I don't know if this finish is going to rust like my other one did. Just flash rusting all up on the tang here. But so far, so good. And I keep my shotguns in a different condition. I got some advice from a deputy sheriff here in my county, and he told me if you own 12 gauges for home defense, which I have 2 of them, this one and the Mossberg 590A1, keep them in cruiser ready condition. Cruiser ready is full magazine, empty chamber, safety off. While we're working with the firearm, we're going to go ahead and engage that, because with it being in the condition it's in, I can move this fore end and it will come back and chamber around from here. But we're not going to do that. You have your sling mounts, one there and one up here on your extension. Now I put one of these on my last 870. I thought factory Remington extension, that should be great. And I ended up having to get the Wilson Combat one, because all the guns that don't have this, you will have to go inside of this tube here and drill out the little dimples that hold in your magazine retainer. I did that. Wanted my warranty. Voided it. No more, no good. Get the extension installed, big old long spring. Start putting my rounds in, I get about 4 in there. No more. It was hanging up. when it did finally load 6, it wouldn't feed properly from the magazine to the chamber. Now, I got to looking and like, man, maybe I need to smooth that down a little bit in there. So I did that. Same issue happened again. Took the extension, was going to sell it after I got my Wilson Combat one. And I took it to a shop. You guys want to buy this? I don't need it. And they said, well, it doesn't ever really work right because inside of this coupling here, on some of the factory ones, with the same time that they were having those problems, there was a lip inside of here they forgot to grind down and make flush, and it would cause shells to hang up. It just would never work. So I was just disappointed, man. Got to looking on YouTube, and best magazine extension for 870, Wilson Combat. That's what came up, Wilson Combat. So I got that. She worked great the whole time I had it, and then I sold that shotgun a while ago for financial reasons. This extension is a Remington factory, but it is done from the factory. So it's perfect. It works great. Now, with the Wilson Combat one, I had to have a lock washer to go up against the barrel guide ring here to keep the whole assembly from backing out under recoil. You no longer had the clicks when you're tightening down your extension tube. This one, if I take this off and take this bracket off, you can hear it. When you tighten it down, you can hear it cranking against this, and it stops and is secure. Now, there's a couple things on these that you want to know about if you have one. Even these, even the factory ones that are done from the factory. The spring is long. It's crazy floppy. You really got to work with it to get it down into the tube here. If one of those spring coils gets caught against this, you will not have reliable feeding or reliable loading. Either one. You'll want to kind of finagle with it a little bit, make sure that you get a solid lock against this with no interference. That's the only thing I've found to alleviate that. But I wanted to put this up because, man, it feels so good to have a Resident Evil 1 shotgun. It's so cool. Now, my 590A1, best shotgun in the world. It's hanging up right there. Best shotgun I've ever paid money for, man. This one, about $400. Now, is it military standard? No. But is it a fun, go out and shoot, have fun gun? Oh, yeah. I don't know what the recoil is going to be like on this. I mean, I know my last one was pretty rough. So we'll see. I'm supposed to be shooting it today a little bit with my buddy Matt when he gets here in a little while. But let's go over some of the, disassembly, things like that. Trigger plate pins come out first. Well, really, you can disassemble this gun in any order as long as this comes out. When the trigger assembly comes out, the elevator comes out with it. And then you move your cartridge stop and interrupter inside of here to get your action tube off. When the action tube comes out, the bolt and bolt carrier come out with it. It's all one piece. This will fall off once you get it out. So, just to let you guys know. And there is the locking block up in here. You have one extractor. And the Mossberg 500, 590 has two extractors. So, kind of cool. Steel receiver. On the Mossberg, you got an aircraft aluminum receiver. But man, what a shotgun. 6+1, cylinder bore, that's all you need. I know, if you wanted to hunt with this, you probably could in my state. I'm not 100%, but you probably could. You will definitely need a plug for your magazine to limit it to the legal hunting requirements here in Georgia. which I think is 2 in the tube and 1 in the chamber, 3 rounds. But even with this, I don't know if that will fall into legality there, because it holds 6 normally here, like I have it now. If I put a plug in this, you might get 4 in the tube, and you'll be illegal. So anybody out here that gets a shotgun for hunting, if you live in Georgia, you gotta have that plug, and you gotta have 2 rounds in the tube, 1 in the chamber. Defensive shotguns, usually you get a 6+1, which is what this is, or Mossberg 590A1s and 590s some of them come in the 8+1, and you get 9 shots. So anyway, guys, I don't know much else to say about this firearm because I haven't had it in my hands and used it yet. But the 870 was introduced in 1951, and I believe it's still in service with the police. I know most police departments, especially here in my state, they all adopted the Benelli M4. And man, the Benelli M4, well, what a fantastic shotgun. If I had $1,200 to spare, I'd buy one. But they're a semi-automatic shotgun. So you put your 6 or 7 rounds in your tube, and you got trigger pull 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you're ready to reload it. Pump action, much more, in my experience, pump action is much more reliable. Because some semi-automatic shotguns can be finicky about the ammo you use in them. Pump actions generally will run any 12 gauge round that you find. Granted that you put in the gun what it is chambered for. Now some of your older ones will have a 3.5-inch chambering. This is not one of them. That's the same load as a 10 gauge shotgun. And they do make 12 gauge 3.5-inch Magnum. And you could rack this back and somehow get that round in the chamber, close it up, and it will fire it. There's no danger there. The danger is if you shoot it, it's going to shoot, but the shell won't eject. That's not that big of a deal because you don't have a live round in here after you fire it. After you fire it, that's it. There's no chance this gun will go off again. But if you put you a 3.5-inch in here and you close the action and you say, well, yeah, it chambers. Now I want to get it out. And you rack that slide back, it won't come out. And then you have a live round that is basically wedged inside of your ejection port. And you can get it out, you can, but the first thing you must do, always engage your safety and assess the situation. Make sure there is no danger of that round firing. And then you can remove these 2 pins, take your trigger plate assembly out, and then you can move the bolt back, and as it's coming back, that will allow your shell to fall out of the bottom. Because you're going to have all of this room, you know, from here all the way to here, and this elevator will not get in your way. And then I had one crazy experience with an 870 that I had almost like this one. I was loading it, or my buddy was loading it, and I was down range, setting the targets back up that we were shooting at. One of the shells, he didn't push the shell far enough into the magazine tube, and the cartridge interrupter didn't grab it, and it slid back underneath the elevator. And we had to pull the gun apart to get that thing out. And these are supposed to have a anti-jam thing on it, but I don't see that. And these are notorious for doing that and coming forward, and you get here and it comes up and pinches your finger up under there. I've had that happen to me 3 times on an 870. But this is supposed to help if one of your shells does slide back underneath. This little piece right there is supposed to pop up and give you enough leverage to push down a little bit and push that in, and it'll push the shell back forward. But I don't know, and I'm not going to test that theory. But for $400, man, I mean, it's not a bad little gun. It's pretty cool. And if you're going to disassemble this and get the barrel off, move your bolt halfway back. The barrel will not come off without removing this bracket. And the way you remove that is this screw here. You take that out, this will slide off the front. You may have to bend it open a little bit, say up here at the top, to get it to slide off. Mine came off pretty easily. Just a little, side note there for disassembly. This has to come off too. If you clean your magazine, you'll just want to use patches inside of here to clean the dirt and dust and stuff out of it. Don't ever put oil inside of your magazine tube. You don't ever do that. I've never done it. I've never known anyone that's done it. But everybody I've ever talked to, they say, don't ever do that. So, there we have it, guys. Oh, one other thing about the Remington that kind of sucks. And it's not just, the Freedom Group Remingtons, it's all of them. The Mossbergs, the ejector behind the bolt here, if it breaks, the Mossberg, you can self-service that ejector. You can order one from mossberg.com. It takes one screw that is located here. The thread pattern is here. And you can take it out from the inside, get your ejector out, and replace that ejector, put the screw back in, you're back in business. On a Remington, if your ejector breaks, it is riveted and pinned here and there. You have to send this back to Remington, have them fix it for you. So there's a few downsides, but the 870 is an American classic. It's a great firearm. Trusted the world over, just like the Mossberg, Those two, Mossberg's my number one shotgun. That's my number one brand. I love them. But Remington, second best to me. I'll take a Remington if the price is right. And this one was. It's brand spanking new. Now that 590A1 I have behind me was $800. Brand spanking new, and it's well worth the money. This one, that remains to be seen. I'm not 100% sure how this is going to function. What ammo is it going to like? What ammo is it not going to like? That kind of thing. But we shall see today, and I'll get back on here and do a little update. Because these guns are relatively new. They haven't been out all that long. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And always be safe with your firearms. Keep your finger off the trigger at all times unless you are ready to shoot. Be aware of your target and what's beyond your target. And don't put 3-inch Magnum in this and give it to someone that's never shot a shotgun before. You're going to get them hurt. So, take care. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time.